I mean, just to start, 70. You won the second half, 70-43. Defensive, obviously, numbers were off the charts. You won the rebounding battle. I mean, just where do you start with what all you liked with how things went in the second half?
Well, the practice time over the last 2 weeks has helped us a lot. Practice time yesterday was very good. We got a lot of things done, and we just keep working at it. It has to become a mindset, and we're doing some things offensively that are enhancing our defense. Like we gave up no points off turnovers in the second half today, and that helps your defense a lot. So we're doing some good things, and you get on a little bit of a roll like this, you want to try to keep it going, and it's hard. These games are all hard. We were fortunate here. I mean, this is a nightmare scenario for Sacramento. I mean, third game in 4 days, and they're playing a team that's been resting for 2 days. So, but everybody's gone through these stretches, and they're a bitch.
Ben Shepherd, we talked a lot about just the guys that were out and how much they changed the way that you guys play. Ben Shepherd comes in and he's 5 of 5 from the floor, 4 of 4 from 3. Obviously, some huge shots in there. Just how great has it been just to have him back, and how does he make a lot of other things kind of fit into place on both ends?
Yeah, I mean, he's just a very consistent, reliable system player that knows his job, embraces his job, and loves being part of a team.
Just what'd you like on the glass, especially in the second half? That obviously kind of was a key piece there
I didn't
as well.
see the numbers. I guess we were +3 for the game. That's great. Look, Sabonis is impossible. I mean, they got 21 boards. I mean, but Thomas Bryant gave us some nice help off the bench. We were rebounding with 5 guys. There was one play, either late third or early fourth, where Mathurin went up over Sabonis and got a defensive rebound. There was a breathtaking play and a very big play at that moment. It was still a 10 or 11, 12-point game or 9, whatever it was. And that ignited a break, and I think we scored. So, having everybody involved in the rebounding is key. In today's game, with all these missiles being launched from everywhere, these long rebounds, they bounce out to 27, 28 feet all the time. And, the perimeter guys got to be involved.
You mentioned just Sabonis being impossible, but I mean, he's 8 of 22. Miles looked like he obviously fought him from the beginning to the end, as long as those two guys were in the game. Just what did you like about Miles specifically on the defensive end?
Yeah, look, Miles has experience with Domas because those guys played together and against each other in practice and training camps many years, and he just knows how hard it is, and it's just a lot of it is just body position stuff. And you get one stop, and he goes up off the glass and gets another rebound. And then if you to stop him again, he'll go like he probably got. There was a couple times he got 2 or 3 of his own rebounds. So, but he's relentless. He's a beast. That's why he's so respected throughout the league. But Miles did a very good job, and Miles also had a very efficient offensive night and very timely shots and baskets.
And just last one, Pascal obviously was, I think, 2 of 9 in the first. I think he made his first 4 or 5 shots in the second half. It seemed kind of a go-to option at that point. Goes for 19 and 10 again after the night he had another night against Phoenix. Again, he's been probably your most consistent player this year, but just how impressive was what he did.
He's just he's been so good. He plays with the starters. He plays with the second unit. And he really melds well with both of those groups. And so, we get stuck in some situations late clock. He's a guy that can bail us out with creativity. He did it a couple times tonight, late clock. And, he's just he can do anything offensively. He scores around the basket. He scores mid-range. He scores, from 3, and he drives it and he handles in transition. So, he's obviously super valuable to us.
Coach Carlisle, T.J. McConnell, I know he's ranked up pretty high, field goal percentage. But out of these 35 assists, he had 10 of them coming off the bench in 22 minutes to go along with his 12 points. How important was that? He's basically been doing that all season.
Yeah, he's another very reliable, dependable guy off the bench for us. He, Obi, and Shep last year in the playoffs were were really good. I mean, they were really consistent. They played both ends very well. They complement each other. They complement when they're mixed with starters. And so tonight we needed TJ to play a few extra minutes because with the back-to-back, we didn't want to run Nemhard's minutes up too much. And fortunately, we were able to avoid putting him back in the fourth quarter. That's Nemhard, that is.
Hi, Rick. Big picture question for you. Considering, when you get to the conference finals, I think the only downside might be expectations go up, and then you all get off to the start that is maybe not what you were hoping for. How did the spirit of the group during that time hold together? Now you got 5 games of really good work, and then playing well enough that the road fans are booing, and it's a pretty dominant win. Just how have you assessed?
Well, we have great guys, and our guys have stuck together extremely well through the difficult times. The difficult times featured our young guys having to step into significantly greater levels of responsibility, and the schedule was very demanding, and it was tough. And so our veteran guys helped those guys. They nurtured them along. They were encouraging. They never got down on those guys, and those guys have gotten better. I'm talking about Matherin. I'm talking about Walker. I'm talking about Furphy. Those guys. And look, we had Quentin Jackson who started on 4 or 5 games. And he's in Orlando playing in the showcase now. So. There's going to be rocky times in an NBA season, and you look around the league, and there's a lot of upheaval. There's a lot of teams that are struggling, and you see some finger pointing and things like that. And our guys haven't gone there, and we've just continued to talk about togetherness, a long season, and daily improvement. And but tomorrow, is another ridiculously difficult game, back-to-back against a rested Warriors team who's coming off of a great win last night in Minnesota. So, there's no bargains here at all.
Just the other day, J.J. Redick was in that chair talking about parity and the fact that, teams like his, teams like yours, you could argue the Kings, one good winning streak and you're back where you'd like to be. Does that make the messaging easier for you to tell your guys, don't let go of the rope, don't let it get to you?
We don't look at standings. I really am not a believer in that. That's, the only thing that we control is what's happening with our group and our team. And look, your initial question about expectations from being in the conference finals, we're trying to win a championship. We're trying to develop a team for the long term, a sustainable operation that can have a long run in the playoffs and have a chance to win a championship. So there's nothing wrong with high expectations. What you don't want is a situation of apathy where expectations are low and all you're ever doing is selling hope. That's not why I came here, and that's why Kevin Pritchard's doing his job, and that's not what our ownership's about. So, the opportunities that our young guys have gotten have been very important. There's a lot of learning. These guys come into the league, out of one and done and AAU and all that stuff, and have no idea what it's like to be a professional and to be leaned on and to have a group of guys depending on you. Because that's not what most of that stuff is about. Now, the college coaches are great, but the AAU stuff, that's a different bag. So our guys have learned a lot. Our guys have matured. They've grown. I'm proud of them, but the work is nonstop.
Thanks, Rick.